Hey everyone, this is Faiz and welcome to my channel. 6 months back, I became the proud owner of the refreshed Tesla Model X long range, and I did a full review covering my initial thoughts. But now, after driving it for 6 months and putting in roughly about 5,000 miles on it, I've gotten so much time to spend with this beautiful SUV, so today I want to share my updated thoughts with you. What's interesting about a car, or any technology, is that things change over time as you get used to the product. For an example, there were some things I had mentioned in my initial 2-week review about things I didn't like, and now 6 months later, I actually don't mind some of those things. In fact, there are 1 or 2 features I actually quite enjoy now that I really didn't enjoy in the beginning. Also, there were a couple things I didn't like, and Tesla fixed them with a software update. So in this review, I will cover all of those things. But first, let me recap the Model X that I own. It's a long-range version with a white exterior and white interior with a 6-seat layout. And I upgraded to the 22-inch turbine wheels and got the full self-driving package as well. Now, unlike legacy automakers, Tesla only does minor changes periodically, so I don't anticipate seeing a massive change happening to this Model X's interior or exterior for at least 5 to 7 years. Like even now, they kept the exterior mostly the same and just introduced cosmetic modifications like new bumpers, alloy wheels, and replaced chrome with a nice gloss black finish, which looks much nicer and sleek in my opinion. Tesla says that the models now have new performance tires that provide better handling and ride quality with lower rolling resistance. Now, what's interesting is that though Tesla doesn't do massive updates year over year, it does quietly modify certain things in its cars that a lot of people may not notice at first. For an example, when I reviewed the Model X and was talking about how I love the main screen and how it can position itself to the driver or the passenger by on-screen controls thanks to a swivel design, quite a few owners of the Tesla Model X refresh way before me said they don't have that option. It turns out that Tesla decided to add this hardware feature after the initial refresh model started shipping out. But for customers who didn't get it and really wanted, the good thing is Tesla will retrofit the new display, though it does come at a cost. Another feature that my Model X doesn't even have that Tesla just recently updated is that they increased the size of the rear display by drastically reducing the bezels. But once again, I can confirm that Tesla will soon retrofit the rear display in your car as well, but that too with a cost associated with it. And another minor thing that Tesla just recently did was they removed the chrome Tesla emblem from the back of the Model S and the Model X. So there is no more emblem, and the black part connecting the headlights together now has Tesla spelled out in white. Nonetheless, it's nice to know that Tesla will still enhance or modify certain elements throughout its car over the years, and instead of legacy automakers making you upgrade to a whole new car, Tesla can just retrofit many of those elements so your car is always fresh and up to date, both hardware-wise and software-wise. Now, the most obvious differentiating factor about the Model X is its Falcon Wing doors. Even after 6 months of driving this car, I am still wowed by these doors, and so are my passengers. They do work pretty seamlessly, but they are very eye-catchy, I must say. I also just love how the driver's door opens automatically and can be shut without lifting a finger. As much as I love that feature, I also hated it whenever my car was parked in the garage and I had to just go pick something near my car, like let's say the charger. It would automatically just open the door and hit me. It was a small nuisance, but with the 2022 Tesla holiday update, that issue thankfully is now fixed, as you can now exclude your car's door from automatically opening if it is parked in your garage. How cool is that? The interior of the refreshed Model X is appealing and functional. The redesigned dashboard makes the interior seem more sophisticated and luxurious. And I really do like the yoke. In fact, I prefer it over the traditional wheel because if I'm on autopilot, I actually like how I can just rest my hands on the wide open space area. However, if you're not a fan of the yoke and want a traditional round steering wheel, Tesla now gives you the option to choose that when you order your car. Now, in my initial review, I did mention how I was quite frustrated with the lack of actual gear shifters and having to depend on tapping the screen every time I wanted to drive forward, reverse, or park. Well, guess what? I actually could care less about it now, because thanks to Tesla's great sensors and algorithms, it can now predict and detect which task I am trying to accomplish. For an example, when I'm in the garage, the Model X clearly detects the wall in front of my car and knows that I obviously don't want to drive forward, so it's already in the reverse position, and all I have to do is confirm by braking. Now, I can obviously overwrite this function through the screen, and I would say that it is accurate 99% of the time. And the same thing goes for the blinkers. There are no hardware stocks, and you have to depend on the touch controls on the yoke to indicate your turn signals. Initially, I didn't like it, but over time, I became used to it. And now that it's been almost half a year, I am completely used to it. What I've noticed is the way you drive this car is a little different from traditional cars. All it is muscle memory, and once you get the hang of it, you get used to it and end up enjoying it. Now, what I really love is the big 17-inch horizontal touchscreen. I was never a fan of the vertical touchscreen display in the previous generation Model X. This one is much nicer, and I like how with just a click of a button, the driver can now tilt the screen towards them for improved visibility. Also, I initially thought I would use the screen tilt functionality a lot, but in the past 6 months, I've probably only used it like twice. Right underneath the touchscreen, I love this designated area to place your phones and have them wirelessly charge. And speaking of charging, you have many USB-C ports to charge your devices throughout the car. You've got 2 in the center console, 2 underneath the second row display, and also 2 in the third row right by the cup holders. This is something my guests absolutely love. Now, since we purchased the 6-seat version, it feels even more spacious since there is nice room between the 2 middle row seats, which allows for great access to get to the third row seats. You also have these switches to allow the middle row seats to go back and forth to allow access to the third row, or simply just adding more legroom in the second row. As for the legroom between the third and second row seats, it's decent. It's not like the middle rows, of course, but definitely much better than most of the other third row SUVs out there in the market. Now, right in front of the middle row, you have this nice touchscreen display where you have your climate controls, but you can also do far more than just that. You can stream movies, play music, and even play games. This is a feature that many passengers will definitely enjoy. And like I said earlier, Tesla has increased the size of the display for all models 2023 and up. Overall, the interior space is generous in the first and second rows, and that extra large windshield provides a panoramic view like no other. I do wish the front windows and windshield were slightly more tinted because it gets really hot and bright in this car. And because the windows were so transparent, I got my windows tinted at GTM Auto Studio in Decatur, Georgia. Also, when I ordered my Model X with the performance wheels, for the first time ever, Tesla did not offer red calipers and gave only the black option instead. Now, however, if you order, they have gone back to red. So GTM Auto Studio painted my calipers red and they look fantastic. They also do PPF, ceramic coating, and mobile detailing. So if you want any of these services, be sure to reach out to GTM Auto Studio. I have left their information in the description below. All right, so now that we've talked about the interior of the new Model X, let's talk about comfort. One benefit of the larger Tesla models, including the Model X, is the adaptive air suspension, which significantly improves ride comfort. This new Model X boasts an admirable ability to absorb bumps in the road. This quality, along with the cabin being well insulated against outside noise, makes for a very comfortable environment. And as far as the seats go, the Model X's are pretty well cushioned and provide enough adjustments to dial in your personal comfort. The Model X's climate controls are simple to use. Now let's talk about my favorite part, the technology. For all the technological marvels in the Model X, initially I was quite a bit disappointed with the lack of smartphone integration via Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In my initial review, I called that a big drawback, as literally almost every car in the market now offers it. But guess what? I don't miss Apple CarPlay at all anymore. The Tesla user interface is super fluid and very intuitive. The map is also fantastic, and plus with the holiday update, Tesla added Apple Music to the car. If you're parked, you've got access to an internet browser that allows you to do stuff like watch Netflix or scroll through YouTube videos, provided you're subscribed to a Tesla data plan or connected to Wi-Fi. Now, one of my complaints that I still have is that this car has a ton of sensors and cameras, yet for some reason, you don't get a 360 view of the car when you're parking or pulling into tight areas such as a garage, for an example. I just don't understand why Tesla doesn't enable this when they have all the technology in the car. Now, what's really cool, however, is the real-time digital map of all the vehicles around you. It is pretty neat to see, and I like that you can pull up the rear view camera anytime you want. Now, before we talk about storage and range and efficiency, let's go to the most important thing, the driving experience. I just want to start off by saying that I love driving this Model X. The excitement that I had initially when I got the car is still there, 6 months later. Performance has become the calling card of the Tesla brand, and the midsize Model X upholds that reputation. This long-range dual-motor Model X boasts 670 horsepower and accelerates quite quickly. Make sure to give your passengers fair warning before putting your foot down, especially if your car is on insane mode. The 0 to 60 is an insane 3.8 seconds. Now, balancing out that impressive speed are excellent brakes that are both easy to use in traffic and strong and confident when you need to stop in a hurry. There's enough regenerative braking when lifting off the accelerator that you can often drive around without even touching the brake pedal. This sizable family SUV drives more like a sports car, and that's absolutely what I love about it. Also worth noting, the adaptive air suspension provides up to 8.9 inches of ground clearance when you need it. As for range, I get an average of 295 miles on a 90% charge. Now, I rarely charge it to 100%, but whenever I do go on long trips, I charge it to 100% and usually get around 340 miles. But in general, I never get range anxiety with the Model X, and if I'm ever running low, it charges very quickly. Now, you may be wondering, how's the cargo space? All I can say is it's excellent. When compared with its rivals, the new Tesla Model X has the best in-class cargo capacity of 40 cubic feet. Even when you fold down the rear seats, this Tesla Model X tops the charts with the room it has on offer to store more luggage. There's sizable storage underneath a sliding cover as well. Also, the front trunk has ample space as well. I do, however, wish it was an automated powered trunk so it open and close by itself. For such an expensive car, you would think Tesla would have included it, but oh well. Now, in conclusion, the Model X is beautiful, fast, and luxurious. It is engineered to wow both the driver and also the passengers. The car never failed to impress me with its sheer speed and panoramic windshield and the great technology that it offers. Thanks to the low-mounted battery weight, the Model X feels more like a sports car than an SUV. The immediate thrust from the electric motors becomes addicting, so much so that you might swear off gas-powered cars for good. So this basically wraps up my 6-month review of the Tesla Model X. Hit the subscribe button and stay tuned to more videos of my Tesla and other electric vehicles I'll be reviewing soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, drop them down in the comment section below. Till then, see you next time.